It appears that Samsung's troubles have not quite cooled down yet.
I see what you did there.
A Southwest flight was evacuated this morning because of a smoking Samsung Galaxy Note 7. But it seems to be one of the phones with batteries that are not supposed to catch fire. One of the new ones. Jordan Golson from The Verge wrote about this story. Welcome back to the show, Jordan.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So you spoke to Brian Green, the owner of the said phone, that the new phone that set fire on this plane. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, Brian didn't have a very good day today. So basically what happened is he said he boarded the plane and the flight attendants were giving their normal pre-flight safety briefing, put your seatbelts on and all that. And one of the things that they said was, please power down your Galaxy Note 7s. And he said that a couple people sitting around him also had Note 7s, and they were sort of joking about, all these are replacement phones, so this isn't necessary, but whatever, we'll do what they said. So he turns off his phone, puts it in his pocket, and a few seconds later realizes there's smoke pouring from his pocket, which is alarming. And so he pulled the phone out of his pocket, dropped it on the floor, and told the flight attendant. And he said by that point, quite a lot of smoke was coming out of the phone. They evacuated the plane. Luckily, it was still at the gate, so they just went out the regular door onto the jetway and took care of that. But it actually lit the carpet on fire, and the flight crew was able to put it out with a fire extinguisher, and then they called the authorities, and they came out. And it actually scorched the subflooring underneath the carpet. So if that had happened in flight, could have been a pretty bad situation.
No kidding.
Wow. So when did he say he bought the phone?
So he had the phone when it came out, and then once the recall started, he said he got a text message that said, please don't use your phone anymore. We're really serious this time. So he took it to his local AT&T store where he had bought the phone. They gave him a Galaxy S7, the smaller phone. And then when the new replacement Note 7s were out on September 21st, which I think was the first day they were available, he went and picked one up. So this was one of the first replacement phones that he could get.
And so we were showing your article in The Verge where you have a picture of the box. That's where you're supposed to look up. What are you supposed to look up to make sure it's safe?
So on the box itself, there's that little black square, and that signifies that the phone is one of the new replacement phones. And then the other thing they do is on the phone itself, when it's powered on, the battery indicator is green instead of white. So those are the two clues that you can see to know that this phone is a good one. And he said that his phone had the green battery. He was well aware of the recall. He knew everything that was going on, and which is why he sort of treated it so cavalierly. He said, I've got a replacement phone. Everything should be fine. And it obviously wasn't.
Man, this is just okay. So by the way, this is the Note 7. This is my replacement. I just this morning.
It down.
Yeah, keep it away from me, please.
Just leave it right there.
It's really hard to not use this phone. It's a really great phone, but I don't want it to blow up on me. I don't know. This is just such bad news for Samsung, right? Like potentially, maybe this is just one of those random moments, and because it's timed with all of this other Samsung battery stuff, it's just unfortunate timing. But man, it just keeps happening. At what point do airlines just remove kind of the right now they're saying you have to power down your Note 7. I mean, at some point, airlines have just got to say, like, no, you can't bring those on here. We've had too many incidents. Like, we don't trust them anymore. Do you think that's a possibility at some point?
I mean, you've got two things here. One, phones do, in general, catch fire sometimes.
Right,
lithium-ion batteries, you can have issues. And this could just be that, and it was bad luck. But the fact that it's a Note 7 is not good. And the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission has already announced that it's going to be investigating this, and they said they are going to expeditiously investigate. Most of the time, government agencies are a little slow on the uptake here, but I talked to someone from the CPSC, and they are all over this. And you could see if they determine it was a problem, the next step is, is the recalled phones, do they need to be recalled? And it's nothing but bad news for Samsung. And it's easy to see how this could end up with no Note 7s on planes at all.
Right.
But it's true. This happens a lot. I mean, you search for like iPhone 7 explodes or iPhone 7 on fire, and you see a lot of stories too. Like there was a college student, a couple of days ago who claims his iPhone 7 set fire, or his iPhone 6 set fire in his pocket, that sort of thing. Yeah, it's not, but it seems like now we're all paying attention.
Right.
And maybe we need to be paying attention. I mean, I've said this before, but it's like our constant need for like faster charging, bigger batteries. It can be dangerous, right?
Absolutely. There are already restrictions in place on how lithium-ion batteries can be shipped as air cargo, because there have been a number of incidents with those when you have a lot of batteries all together on a pallet, for example. They're very careful around those now. So it's definitely something that people are aware of, and it's not really anything new. What the problem is with the Note 7 is the frequency at which it was happening with the new phone.
Right.
And now there have been reports of replacement phones having problems overseas, and this we think is the first one in the U.S., which is why the U.S. regulators are going to be all over this. So the FAA is also investigating. And so between them and the CPSC, we should have a good idea of what happened and what it means going forward.
Yeah, and mind you, and not to discredit Brian in any way, shape, or form, because we don't actually know, we don't actually know until we know, but, it's easy to find a picture of a box. So, I mean, there's entirely the possibility that this was an old phone, and we don't actually know the answer to that yet. Maybe it didn't have a green battery. I don't know. But what is he using now? What is he going to do it again? Is he going to go for another Note 7 or what?
Well, that was the thing. When I emailed him this morning to try and get in touch and find out what happened, it occurred to me that, well, he doesn't have a phone anymore. So how is he going to get back to me? But he went from the airport to the AT&T store and actually bought an iPhone 7. And that was how he called me back. So he said he really liked his Note 7. He thought it was a fantastic phone, and it was the third Samsung he had in a row. But it catching fire in his pocket sort of ruined him on that. So when I talked to him this morning, he sounded grateful to not be injured, but very irritated at Samsung.
Yeah, he's been burned by Samsung one too many times.
Sorry.
Well, Jordan, thank you so much for joining us. Jordan Golson is a transportation reporter at The Verge. Anything else that you're reporting on that we need to know about?
Oh, ever so many things. Tesla is the big one right now. They are supposed to have an announcement at the end of the month to talk about a new combination solar panel battery pack roof product that they're working on with Solar City. So look forward to that.
All right.
Well, you can find
Thanks,
Jordan.
folks.
Thank you. You can find Jordan at TheVerge.com and JL Golson on Twitter.